Hi there, I'm Arnold, and when I rescued my supermodel boss from being captured, it made me a millionaire. Before anything else though, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell icon to show your support for me. Here's the thing, I've never been brave my whole life. I simply coasted along and flew under the radar to get by. I was never picked on or made fun of as a kid because I made myself as invisible as I could. But I guess the downside of being invisible is that you don't really experience anything interesting like everybody else. So that night, that cold, rainy night when my boss unexpectedly appeared soaking wet on my doorstep, I took the leap. I decided to do something outside of my comfort zone. You could even say it was courageous. It all started when I began working for Sarita. It was a breeze working for her. The only real downside was that my boss, the VP of operations, always looked down on me. She always told me I was worthless, even though I always did my job well. And once she told me I would never amount to anything. What made it worth working there was Sarita. She was a supermodel who was not only gorgeous, but also smart, kind, and charismatic. How do I know she's smart? Well, she's a remarkable entrepreneur. As soon as she got international attention as a supermodel, she used that platform and the money she earned to achieve even more. She went to the best business school in the country, and soon after graduating, she built her own company from scratch and grew it into the international conglomerate that it is now. I didn't even know who she was until I started working there. I'm not really one to keep up with fashion news, but when I heard about her story, I began to admire her. And that was why I did what I could to save her. I was gaming on my PC and streaming to my meager 20 regular viewers when I heard a loud banging on my front door. I thought I was just imagining it, seeing as I had my headphones on and there was a storm raging outside. But when it happened again, I rushed to check who it was. As I looked through the peephole on my front door, I saw her. I had to slap myself twice to make sure it really was Sarita. And then I flung the door open. She was dripping from head to toe in a beautiful dress as the rain raged on and lightning flashed in the distance. I couldn't find my words, and so I simply muttered, I need your help, begged Sarita. I need you to hide me, please. That sent a shiver down my spine. Hide her? From what? From who? That smelt of trouble, and my #1 rule in life was to stay out of it. Lie low, fly under the radar. But when I looked at her, something inside me stirred. She looked worriedly behind her, and I could see a pair of headlights about to round a corner down the long stretch of my street. At that moment, I told myself, if I was ever going to do something crazy, it might as well be something that could help someone. And so, I pulled Sarita into the house and slammed the door closed just before the approaching headlights turned the corner. I could hear my heart beating against my chest. Who was that? I asked her. It looked as if Sarita debated in her head whether or not to tell me. But then, seeing as I was the only one who could help her at the time, she said, I'm a spy. A what? My knees buckled. I'm a spy, she said again. No. I heard you the first time, but... A spy? You're joking, right? This is a joke. Am I being pranked? I said, looking around for cameras. I'm a Russian spy, and your government is after me, she stated. Oh, dear flaming Cheetos in the sky, I said as I sunk down into the couch. I've really done it now, I thought. Fly under the radar. Lay low. Be invisible. Yeah, so much for that. Now I'm harboring a foreign spy in my house, and my government's friggin' after her. I need your help, said Sarita. I need to lay low. That's ironic, I said under my breath. What was that? She asked. Nothing, I replied. I can't. I'm sorry, Miss Sarita, but you're the enemy. Like, you're a spy. In my country, I can't just hide you. Please, help me, Arnold. You're my only hope, she begged. And something about the way her voice trembled, the way her eyes began to water. Oh, okay, I finally said. But how? Why? Because your country is performing illegal experimentation in remote parts of Siberia is why. Families have died, Arnold. I'm not here to harm anyone. Quite the opposite. I came here to find out why they're doing it, who's behind it, and somehow make it stop, said Sarita. That sounds horrible, I said. And did you? Why do you think they're after me? As for how you can help me, that's simple enough. Hide me. I need to stay here, with you. I haven't blown my cover yet, so they don't know about my fake identity. They only found out someone had derailed and infiltrated their operations, she replied. That's it? You just stay here. For how long? I asked. For as long as it takes for my country to exfiltrate me. They will extract me from here, as soon as I give them all the information they need, said Sarita. Oh, I see. Well, I have fiber if you need to upload anything. It'll be super quick. I'm sure you can contact them somehow. Like, are you gonna email them or a Zoom meeting or something? Sarita laughed at that. People are listening, Arnold. Your whole country is bugged. This matter needs old school espionage. We're doing it the old-fashioned way, through a series of covert handoffs. We? I asked. Yes, said Sarita. This is how you can help me. You'll go back to work as if nothing happened, and I'll write a letter to the VP of Operations naming you acting CEO. You will tell everyone I've been called away on an extended modeling contract. On my desk, you will find a phone and a laptop. Both are untraceable and has their own secure lines. I'll give you the passcode, and you can communicate with my contact through there. Once you've done so, I will have to ask you to carry these documents that I stole. You will arrange a meeting with one of our operatives, and you will hand over the stolen documents. She'll be able to fly in and out of the country without much suspicion. You may even recognize her. She's the one who arranged our corporate trips. Miss Holden? I exclaimed. Sweet old Miss Holden's a spy too? Not so sweet, Miss Holden. She's trained in every martial art you can think of and can dismantle most guns in 10 seconds, said Sarita. Will you do it for me? I stared off into the distance, mulling over the option of whether or not I should let Sarita give away my country's secrets. I also imagined the look on the VP of Operations' face when she found out I was going to be acting CEO. That almost made me want to do it. But then I asked Sarita, so, your story, your life that I've heard about, the modeling, the struggle through business school and building the company? It's just a cover story, Arnold, she said. All of it. Please, Arnold, will you do it for me? For a good while, I just looked at her. I didn't know what to say. And then I said, I'll do it for the families that died. Sarita hugged me, and then she kissed me on the cheek. I immediately turned a bright shade of red, and then Sarita dropped one of the bags she was carrying in front of me. When she opened it, my eyes widened at the cash that was in there. What? I exclaimed. It's yours, she said. 100,000 for every week I'm here. I know this is beyond anything you would have done normally. You're putting everything on the line for me. I should at least pay you. I can't take that, I said. Sarita's facial expression changed from that of thankfulness into annoyance. I could see her eye twitching when she said, You're gonna take the money? Or I'm gonna shove it up your— All right, I said, fearing she'd do the worst. I'll take it, but only because you insist. I do insist, said Sarita, smiling again. I went into work that Monday, sweating so much you'd think the rain outside never stopped. I was on high alert and paranoid like I've never been before. I did exactly as Sarita instructed, and when I handed her letter to the VP of Operations, that lady's reaction almost made all of the stress worth it. She couldn't believe I was going to be her boss from then on. I set up to meet Mrs. Holden, and I handed off the suitcase full of documents. She didn't even bat an eye or say anything. She just proceeded as if she already knew exactly what was going on. They will call you tomorrow, 10 p.m. sharp. Be sure to be in your office with the laptop on, said Mrs. Holden. And so, I did as she said. The call lasted 30 seconds, every Thursday. They would call me at the same time, they would update me, and I would relay the message to Sarita, and I would update them the next week. It carried on like that for 2 months. I saw Mrs. Holden every Monday, and each time she brought me a suitcase to give to Sarita, and Sarita would give it to me. $100,000 for each week she had to stay. And on the last week of the second month, before she gave me the last suitcase, she fished out an envelope. In it, her new passport and paperwork concerning her new identity. They were finally going to exfiltrate her. She hugged me the next morning before a black car took her away. And then she kissed me goodbye. "I'll keep in touch. Promise," she said. Last I heard, the experimentation stopped. They leaked the documents, and there was a lot of outrage and protests. I moved since then, but Sarita still sends me emails. She even talks about recruiting me. I might even say yes, who knows? It made me $1,200,000 richer after all. Not bad for my first courageous act.